I'm here today on Creating Joy with My Friends with Althea Gyde at Leavenworth Quilting. So she just purchased Leavenworth Quilting and is starting it out. This is her first week, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she got to this point. So tell us, Althea.
Okay, so I like to say that I studied quilting in graduate school. I didn't really study quilting. I studied middle and high school broad field science education. But when I was working on my master's degree at the University of Montana, I studied quilting on Sunday mornings with Jenny Doan from Missouri Star Quilt Company. And I gave myself those Sundays to learn quilting, and I needed a creative outlet because I was writing a lot of research papers, doing a lot of calculus, and working through some significant collegiate courses, and I needed a creative outlet, so I chose quilting. And I'm really glad that I did, because now I'm a professional quilter. In 2020, I opened a long arm studio at my home called Blue Heron Quilting. A year and a half ago, I added a second long arm machine, and so I quilt about 300 quilts a year there. And throughout all of that time, I've worked here at Leavenworth Quilt Company 1 day a week. And when the current owner decided, or the past owner decided she was ready to retire and she was going to look for a buyer, I said that it would be me. And so for the last year and a half, we've been working together to transition ownership to my realm. And I've been at it for a week now. So it's pretty exciting.
So Althea, something I like to ask everyone is, what do you do to create joy?
That's a good question. I create every day, either with fabric or thread, or preferably both. In fact, just this morning, I woke up at 4 in the morning and I got my cup of coffee and I was on the phone with my husband. And he said, you know, you're one of the only people I know that'll get up, grab a cup of coffee, and then I hear a sewing machine running. And so I go right out with my hot cup of coffee and I sit down at my sewing machine. And this morning's project, you know, I have a lot of personal and professional projects that are ongoing in my studio, but this morning, since it was 4 in the morning, I decided to treat myself to some personal joy. And I was working on piecing together some background for a needle turn applique project that I'm working on. And so that's what I did today, just this morning. And then when I get back home, there'll be more of the same. I have hand stitching in my bag at all times. It keeps me out of trouble in public. And I have all kinds of projects that go on. If you ask me about my UFOs, I'll tell you that it's probably over 60, and I have no regrets, because each of my UFOs uses a different part of my brain, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood to use that portion of my brain, so I switch it up, and I reserve the right to do that, so I'm not sorry.
You sound like a true crafter.
Yes, I'm an avid
love it.
quilter. Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what is unique about your shop?
So the thing that I think that makes our shop special is all of our kits that we offer. We try to have a kit or sample or a special project for every fabric line that comes in. And when we package those, they're not marked up. So the kit is as if you came into the shop, purchased the pattern, had us cut the fabric, and went home to make the quilt. And so I think that's really what sets us apart. For now, I have plans in the future, the near future, to bring on some classes, and we're going to do some subscription boxes. Those are forthcoming, but I have to pace myself because there's only so many hours in a day, and I'm not taking the 4 a.m. hour to plan business. Yeah. I'll sew my own stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
Althea, could you tell us about some of your newest things that have come to the store and what makes them special?
Sure. So right behind us here this is our newest collection of flannel. This is the Woolies flannel from Maywood Studios. And you'll notice up here, every bolt of fabric, when it comes in, we cut 2 fat quarters. So customers, if they're, we're in Leavenworth, Washington, and we have a lot of tourist community here. And so some folks only have a limited amount of time that they can visit the quilt shop because they're doing all the other things that we have to offer. So they can grab these fat quarters and then quickly check out. But we also have the yardage if they need more. Okay, so this is another of our newest collections. This is the Scenery collection from Elizabeth Hartman, and we have the full color range, again with the fat quarters that we cut, and we have a bundle here of her fat quarters. So this is Elizabeth Hartman Scenery. This one is from Sally Kelly for Wyndham Fabrics, and this one is really going quickly, but we have a bag panel. We have a kit coming. The sample is going to be quilted by me this weekend. And then this is the Mira by Zen Chic, and she is one of my favorite designers. She's now designing for Free Spirit, but this is a really nice modern, could be a masculine line if you need a quilt for your grandson graduating from high school or college. This is a nice option. Okay, so this wall used to be our color wall, and now I'm calling it Seasons of the Year. So we're starting with July 4th because that's coming up quickly, and folks still do have time to make a quilt or a table runner for July 4th. And then we come into what we're calling spring and summer florals, going into autumnal florals back here, and then fall and Halloween and Thanksgiving. Going into winter and winter sports. We have a lot of skiing here in Washington, so lines like this with this Timeless Trails kit go really well. In fact, I think these are the only two of those kits that we have left. And then this is our new Christmas section. Before I bought the shop, we had a whole room dedicated to Christmas, and I'll show you what we turned it into in just a minute. But this is where we're keeping our Christmas fabrics for now. So this fabric line is a recent addition for us just this spring. This is Serendipity 2 by Minky Kim for Riley Blake. And we're offering this in a kit that you can see here as the sample. We also have her needlebook pattern and her scalloped basket trio pattern. And I just want to make sure that folks know, only because I've spent a lot of time on her YouTube channel, she has beautiful YouTube videos that walk you through all the steps to make these things. And so whenever I look for her patterns, I always look to see that it has the YouTube emblem. And it's just quiet with lovely music, and she shows you exactly how it's done. And so it's just flawless every time. So I really enjoy her patterns, and I think her fabric is really fun too. Okay, so this room used to be where we had our Christmas fabric, and when I took the shop over, I wanted to really expand this space. And so this room is now what I'm calling the color room. And so we have our traditional tone-on-tone colored fabrics along the wall. And then we have our solids wall here. And then we have the Moda Grunge wheel. And so I had my oldest daughter, who is an artist and loves color. She set this all up for us and made it so nice to shop and pick out whatever color you'd like. And so this room is for modern quilters, traditional quilters. It's a great way to just get all the sort of basic supplies that you need when quilting, like going to the grocery store for milk and eggs. Okay, so underneath the window here, we've got our K Facet section of fabrics with a little bit of Anna Maria mixed in, back when she was a Free Spirit designer. And then to the right of that, we have our batik section, which will be growing in the next several months. I've got a lot of batiks on order.
So can you tell me about this beautiful quilt up here?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So this line is called Valley View by Henry Glass Fabrics, and the panel comes with the coordinating fabrics, and I wanted to create a sample that would capture the area that we are here in the Enchantments Mountains. And so I used that panel and those geese units to create my own pattern, and we do sell this as one of our kits. It's called Enchantments Sunrise. So those are the beautiful mountains that are just out the front door of our shop. And I feel like this sort of painterly panel reminds me of that.
So thank you so much for being with me today on Creating Joy with My Friends.
It was my pleasure. Thank
You've definitely created joy in my life as you've shared your love of quilting and fabrics.
It was my pleasure.
So
yeah, thanks for asking me to be a part of this.
Hope to
I
come back
appreciate
soon.
it. I would love to have you back anytime. Yeah, come for our classes when we start those.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll see you next time on Creating Joy with My Friends.